National Working Committee of the party and the ratification of a caretaker committee to take over the affairs of the party with my humble self, David Mark, as the national chairman, Rauf Ogbeni Aregbesola as the national secretary, as well as others who have since been serving as officers of the party. In addition to witnessing this process that brought in the new leadership of the party, a formal report of these resolutions was subsequently communicated to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. On the 9th of September 2025, INEC then uploaded the names of the relevant NWC members of the party based on the NEC resolutions. One of the officials of the dissolved National Working Committee was Nafiu Bala Gombe, who was one of the deputy national chairmen of the party. It is on record that Gombe resigned his position on the 17th of May 2025. His resignation was also duly transmitted to INEC on the 12th of August 2025. Regardless of his resignation, he decided to approach the courts on September 2nd, 2025, 4 clear months after he resigned, seeking to be recognized as the chairman of the ADC. What this means is that by the 2nd of September, when he approached the courts, INEC was already aware that Secretary Aregbesola and I had been inaugurated on the 29th of July in a process monitored by INEC. INEC was also aware that Gombe had resigned his position before the inauguration on the 29th of July. While this matter was in court, our team of lawyers approached the Court of Appeal, challenging the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court. In rejecting the appeal, the Court of Appeal ordered the parties, including INEC, to maintain status quo ante bellum. After this ruling on 12th of March 2026, we noticed a flurry of activities by lawyers associated with Nafiu Bala Gombe, requesting INEC to recognize him as the new chairman, or to de-recognize Aregbesola and I as the secretary and chairman respectively, in a curious interpretation of what constitutes status quo ante bellum. But we know all along that Nafiu Bala Gombe and his lawyers were not acting on their own violation. They had become willing tools in the hands of a ruling party that had lost all support and goodwill to the Nigerian people. A government that had become desperate, so desperate to cling to power by all means, and even if it meant throwing the country into avoidable crisis. In the past couple of months, ADC has become the only viable opposition party left in Nigeria. But this APC government does not want any opposition. While we were fully aware of all their desperate plans, we remained confident that no level of desperation would have driven the government and the INEC to take a direct action against the ruling of the court. But we were wrong. It was therefore, to our surprise yesterday, 1st of April, that INEC issued a press statement after the close of business hours, announcing that it had decided to withdraw recognition of both the ADC leadership, which I heard, and the fictitious one purportedly led by Nafiu Bala Gombe, thereby creating a false equivalence between the parties. By purporting to recognize Nafiu Bala Gombe as a faction, INEC seems to have conveniently forgotten that this individual had resigned his position to the knowledge of INEC itself. The crux of the matter is the interpretation of what constitutes status quo ante bellum, which the Court of Appeal directed should be maintained. From all authoritative counsel at our disposal, there is no legal interpretation of precedent that could possibly lead to the outcome that INEC seeks to foist on our party. Based on its press conference of yesterday, INEC is pretending to be confused as to what constitutes the status quo ante bellum. If this was so, under the circumstances, what one would have expected was for INEC to approach the Court of Appeal to request a judicial interpretation of what truly represents the status quo under the circumstances. But INEC did not do this. While posturing to be neutral, its actions confirm that it has become irredeemably partisan, working, as it were, towards a preconceived agenda. With this action, this INEC has left no one in doubt that it has chosen the path of dishonor and has become complicit in undermining Nigerian democracy. It therefore can no longer be trusted.